From Relay, this is Connected, episode 556, recorded on June 11th, 2025. I'm your annual chairman, Federico Vitici, and today's episode is also sponsored by Fitbod, OpenCase, and Ecamm. And I'm joined, as always, by Steven. Hello, Steven.
Hello, Federico. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm in a hotel in Sunnyvale, which is funny to say. And hopefully this hotel Wi-Fi will work. And I have a portable setup made possible by my gear, but also the savior that is OTJ, who brought me an aux cable because I forgot to pack one. So thank you, John.
Thank you, John. And I am joined by our defending keynote chairman, Mike Hurley.
Defending successful keynote chairman. Thank you, everyone. It's me. I'm back. Oh, it's me. I'm the winner. We don't even need to do the episode. We don't even need to do it. I won already. It's fine. Don't even look at it. It's fine. I'm the winner. I'm the winner. I'm the winner. We all know it in our hearts and minds. Everybody knows that I'm the winner. Federico, how's WWDC been for you so far? Well, how's it like over in California?
It's been very busy, good vibes, but I noticed something that I was talking about, with a bunch of people last night. Because of the way it is structured at Apple Park, which is not really a place meant to be a social gathering, I have discovered that I spent more time this year with press people compared to developers, or like I ran into fewer people that said, "Oh, I'm a Mac Stories reader," or "I listen to the shows." I did run into those people, but I noticed that I was always in an area where it was just press people, right? And I continue to think that there was something about the old format of WWDC that was nicer in terms of just gathering all together. In fact, my favorite moment was last night when we went to see the F1 movie at the Steve Jobs Theater.
So
Yeah, it's a good movie. And they got a really good sound system in the Steve Jobs Theater.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite because it was both press people and some developers who got access to like a lottery system, I think. So it was one of the few opportunities for media and developers to be together. And I think there should be more opportunities like that. But overall, good vibes.
Yeah, because it's quite split, isn't it? Even like the keynote, the media and the developers are not even in the same place.
It's always split, and like
Yeah.
I understand that, like in talking to some Apple folks, that like it's always a disruption for them to have people over at Apple Park, especially the press people who stay throughout the Tuesday and the Wednesday, and so you have you have people walking by their offices essentially. And I know that it is a disruption, but at the same time, this is the one time of the year where the Apple community can sort of come together. And I don't know what Apple can do to return. Obviously, I guess returning to the old format is not an option at this point because they love Apple Park and they love their control on things too much. But there's a part of me that still misses the social aspect.
I have a suggestion, right? This is a genuine suggestion. You just got to let go of it for 3 days, right? There's no work's going to get done for 3 days. So you got to make sure no one's got anything in the offices and open up the grass area in the middle. People can just walk around freely inside of it. Make it like a festival. Just put stuff out in the middle. Let people go hang out, and everyone can mingle together. You haven't going to have this weird thing where everyone's trying to go to the coffee shop at the visitor center, but for 2 days it's roped off and only...
Which is always packed, and there's never room for enough people. Like I tried yesterday because I needed to charge my iPad, and they told me, look, there's tables with power on the roof, and obviously it was all packed. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll let my iPad die.
Yeah, so I say just open up that middle area, let people have a little festival fun time in there, soak in some rays. It'd be fantastic. That's what I reckon they should do. But I understand logistically that is very complicated, but I think that would be the best way of handling the community aspect that is lost from the WWDC of old. Like you just make a place for people to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We need to judge not Mark Gurman,
Okay.
who did pretty well.
They crushed it. Look, guys, we have a leaker.
We have
All
a
right?
leaker. We can say
have
it. We have a leaker from Apple because
we got all of this information before anyone else, but no one pays attention to us.
We got it before Mark Gurman from a person named not Mark Gurman. Yep. And I wish that the Apple rumor blogs would pay attention to us because this was all correct after all.
Well, they will now, because we had this with Upgrade where like I was getting the Mike's Anonymous informants, right? And they was giving us stuff, and then a couple of the things turned out to be correct. And so then from then on, we've said things and it shows up on like 9 to 5. So now when we say not Mark Gurman, but now anyone could be that person. So who knows? But look, this was spot on.
Can we read the 3 secrets real quick again?
Yep. The 3 secrets of not Mark Gurman. It's a shame to hear you're going back to the Mac, Federico, because this year iPadOS is getting live window resizing and positioning similar to macOS and visionOS.
Correct.
Ding. Ding. iPad is getting a triangular pointer when the Magic Keyboard is in use for easier targeting of UI elements than the existing circular pointer, which is terrible for text selection.
Ding.
iPadOS 26 will have macOS-like app windows. The number of windows allowed at once will be determined by the amount of physical RAM on the device. 3 gigabytes for 3, 4 for 4, 6 gigabytes for 8 windows. 8 gigabytes will or more will allow 12. Picture-in-picture does not count towards the limit. This one,
because I can tell you, Apple is not confirming the number right now, but from personal experience, having tried myself, having seen Chris Lawley try, these numbers are correct. So,
Ding.
Yeah, not my Gurman got them all.
Way to go, buddy.
So good job, NMG.
I can't believe that this has happened, but it's fantastic that it did. Have we all used it?
Yeah.
It's pretty great. It's pretty
good.
Great.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty great, right?
It almost feels like I got this weird moment yesterday where it almost feels like you're not supposed to do it. Like I realized I was moving a window off screen and it almost felt unnatural to do it on an iPad. And then I realized, oh, well, I guess I can do it now. It takes some adjustment, but it really takes just a few minutes to realize, oh, it's just like a Mac, essentially. And I'm sure there'll be some fine-tuning when it comes to some of how some of the gestures work. For example, if you just want to split the screen, some of the keyboard shortcuts to me feel like they could be a little bit of a work in progress. And obviously the design sometimes glitches out, but it's beta 1. And for being a beta 1, I can tell you there's a lot of work that went into essentially, and we'll talk about this more over the coming weeks, but essentially scraping Stage Manager, like getting rid of the whole thing, and now Stage Manager just being just a visual aesthetic thing, because the windowing system is completely new.
It was lost on me at first, but it's something I picked up later on. Like Stage Manager exists. This is not an evolution of Stage Manager. They started again. That's the reason why all iPads can do this.
Yes.
Every iPad that runs 26, including the minis, which I can't wait to try, will be able to do this. Again, I agree with you, Federico. Like I've been very impressed with it. There's some weird edge cases that I'm seeing, but it's like, I assume this is just beta related. I find it's very hard to be able to open apps in smaller sizes, like just by dragging them out of the dock. It seems like sometimes it will make this like preview window just a little bit smaller, so it will open up as a small window. It doesn't seem very reliable. I still want app pairing and I want multiple desktops because I don't necessarily want all of my open apps in view all the time. But that's all you can do. You can't have like, here I'm going to have 2 apps and here I'm going to have 3 apps. And you would have to have all 5.
That's Stage Manager. Their answer is use Stage Manager.
Yeah, but then I can't do the free resizing, right?
Yeah, Stage Manager I think is still kind of on rails.
No, I don't know.
Really?
I don't think that's correct. I think it's the same windowing system. You just get the grouping stuff.
Well, I will report back on that because if that's the case, this is everything I could ever wish for.
I can test it right now for you.
Test it. You test it right now. So put Stage Manager on and see if I can do all the free resizing and have as many windows as I want up there. What I will say is this feels like a totally new way to use an iPad, and it's going to take time to settle in, but this feels like the way you should be able to use an iPad.
Mike, does this make you want to have a keyboard and trackpad for your
Oh,
iPad?
I bought one. It arrived today.
There it is.
Yeah. But only for my 13-inch, because that's more of like a worky machine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only one I put the beta on. I'm not putting it on my 11 for a while. That's the only thing I put any beta on, as much as I want to put it on my phone, but I am resisting.
I can tell you now, Mike, that I'm using Stage Manager with 6 windows in a workspace, fluid resizing and positioning anywhere.
Sick. Let's go. Oh, I'm gonna have a great time.
You just get the benefits of grouping by workspace, essentially.
Oh yes. All right. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. I've got I've got a date with Stage Manager. This is perfect. This is perfect.
Some hot action
excited.
unconnected
It's a very
this week.
hot resizing fluid action. I can't believe they did this. Like, they've done it. We also didn't talk. I don't think we had it in our picks anyways, right? About the podcasting mode, essentially.
No, we all gave up on it.
I can't believe they've done that. Like, it's like, I don't know why. I'm so happy they've done it. I don't know why they've done it.
There are some technical details there that will need to be figured out. For example, I can tell you that by default, when you enable the local capture, which is a toggle in Control Center, by default, the system doesn't give you separate audio and video tracks. It gives you just one video file, MP4 HEVC, that has the local video and the local audio in the same file. But I believe there's an API for third-party developers to say, well, I want to use these file formats instead, and these like encoding systems. So I need to do more research on that. But they specifically called out podcasters, and even when I was in briefings, like that was the idea. Like, we know there are a lot of people, and Jason and I think we were in some of the same briefings. I don't remember because it was just a lot of briefings, but I remember Jason and I kind of looking at each other and be like, yeah, we tried in the past.
Think, like, the fact we've all been asking for this, right? Like, forever, and then over time, everyone's been falling off the iPad. And do you think that they're like, the last domino is Federico was the last domino, he hath fallen. We now must bring out the podcasting mode. Like, that they've been waiting until the last domino falls and then they bring it in. Like, is that what the case is?
I think the sense that I got is that they Apple reads and listens to more stuff from creators than we normally think. And my sense is that they listen to a lot of the things we say, and not just me, but folks who are really into the iPad. Chris Lawley is one of them. I got to know Noah Herman, another great YouTuber this week, also really into the iPad. And really, we were all sort of coming to the same conclusions over the past year. And I think Apple saw this kind of, I don't want to say movement, but this trend of people saying, well, the iPad, nothing has changed for the past couple of years. I'm just going to give up and go back to the Mac. And I think Apple saw that and realized we maybe need to accelerate. And this is just my speculation, but maybe we need to accelerate some of the developments that we have, which, again, speculation on my part, but it might also explain why you got some stuff on iPadOS this year, but maybe you didn't get Spotlight, right? Because they decided to prioritize certain things over others.
Yeah.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Fitbod. When you want to change your fitness level, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why I'm pleased to let you know that Fitbod is an easy and an affordable way to build a fitness plan that's just for you. Everyone's fitness path is different, which is why Fitbod uses data to make sure they're customizing things exactly to suit you. It adapts as you improve, making each workout challenging, pushing you to make the progress you want. Superior results are achieved when a workout program is tailored to your unique body, experience, environment, and goals, which are all stored in your Fitbod Gym profile. And it tracks muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout and keep up momentum. Fitbod builds you to be your best putting your workouts together by combining AI and exercise science. They've analyzed billions of data points that have been fine-tuned by certified personal trainers. And you can see those trainers because there's more than 1,000 demonstration videos in Fitbod showing you the movements to make sure you're doing them the right way. Fitbod tracks muscle fatigue and recovery to design a well-balanced workout routine because overworking some muscles while underworking others can negatively impact your results. This also means you're never going to get bored, as the app mixes up your workouts with new exercises, rep schemes, supersets, and circuits over time. And all of this is easy to use. You can stay informed with progress tracking charts, weekly reports, and sharing cards, which lets you share your achievements and personal best with friends and family. And it integrates with your Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatch, and apps like Strava, Fitbit, and Apple Health. I love the confidence that Fitbod gives me, not only in what I'm doing in the gym, but that I'm doing it correctly. And as it adapts over time, I can see progress. Personalized training of this quality can be expensive, but Fitbod is just $15.99 a month or $95.99 a year. But you can get 25% off your membership by signing up at fitbod.me/connected. That's Fitbod, Fitbod, fitbod.me/connected for your customized fitness plan and 25% off your membership. Our thanks to Fitbod for the support of the show. The Rickies is a game connected hosts play before Apple keynotes in the beginning of a new year, trying to predict future events. It is made up of 3 rounds. Each host must make 2 regular picks, followed by a risky pick. There are 2 types of Rickies. Today we are grading our keynote Rickies. The winner today will be named the keynote chairman, and that position is held until the next keynote. Hosts should be introduced at the top of each episode according to their current titles. In the event that a host has both positions, they shall be introduced as Ricky Benchmen. After the Rickies, the hosts then play a game called the Flexies. These 2 games are separate but related. Please stand for the reading of the rules. Each host gets to make 2 regular picks. Hosts can be granted a bonus regular pick for any previously incorrect pick that has now come true from the last 3 corresponding games. A previously incorrect pick may be used only once. Correct regular picks are awarded 1 point. The language used for regular picks must be finalized and agreed upon during recording, and no partial points may be awarded. Risky picks have a more complex scoring system, you could say. Each host must make a pick with 3 supporting details. If you get all 3 details correct, you earn 2 points. If you get 2 right, 1 point. 1 right, 0 points. And if you get all 3 details wrong, you lose a point. Points are only awarded based on the details, not the overall pick. Picks must have been approved as risky by the other 2 hosts before the start of the game. Picks made for keynote Rickies cannot be reused by the host who made them for the next keynote. For keynote Rickies, the scoring window starts when the live stream begins and closes when the picks are scored, which is happening right now. Any information used in scoring must be publicly verifiable at the time of recording. All hosts are allowed to reuse picks previously made by others. Scoring is completed during recording and cannot be modified once an episode is complete. In the event of a tie, Dice by PCalc must be used in relay mode to pick a winner. In the case of a 3-way tie, hosts make their calls at the same time, when flipping continuing until a winner is named. Jason Snell previously had a lifetime ban on flipping any coins in relation to the Rickies. However, after graduating from Coin Flip University, go Fighting Coinies, during the 2024 Podcastathon for St. Jude, he can flip a coin under direct supervision. The order of picks is set by previous performance. The winner of the previous associated game goes first, the previous loser goes last. Winners will be recognized during the closing ceremonies. As a reminder, Federico is the current annual chairman and Mike is defending his title as the current keynote chairman. If Federico wins today, he will be the Ricky Benchman. Past results can be seen at rickies.co and rickies.net. These sites also have pages about managing your own scorekeeping at home. You may be seated. That brings us to round one. Mike, you are the defending champion, so you get to go first.
All right, so my round one pick in the Rickies for WWDC this year was significantly new OS design on at least one platform.
Ding!
Ding. Yes, all the platforms.
Liquid glass.
Or depending on your cropping on YouTube, liquid something else.
No, they fixed
glass.
it. They fixed it. They fixed the thumbnail.
I
on
saw
YouTube.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Liquid glass.
Liquid glass. Can we just for a second, can we just talk about the video, the part of the video where Alan Dye is in the design studio or wherever, and they have printed out big things on the table and they're moving actual pieces of glass over them?
Oh, so good.
Is this reverse skeuomorphism? Like, what has happened?
Kind of. Like, they wanted to understand the physical properties of glass when it comes to... I get so tripped up by this. Reflections and refractions are two separate things that glass and light do together. So that's a thing. I saw one of those glass-made statues. Have you guys seen pictures of the Hello glass statue?
Yes,
that I posted.
I've seen,
yeah, so
I have seen many.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing it.
that was in the entrance of the new observatory room at Apple Park, which we were not allowed to take pictures of the observatory. I think it's my favorite place at Apple Park. And I made a joke. I was with a PR person. I made a joke. I was like, "Oh, is this like an artisanal glass made, but very fancy custom tailor?" Like I was trying to be like do a silly joke, and she looked at me. And she was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, like absolutely stone faced. Yes.
Like, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I took a picture. Yeah.
Okay.
Liquid glass, dangerous, right? Because that's like molten. That would hurt. Like,
that would be the last thing you touch.
you shouldn't touch. Yes, in general, never touch liquid glass. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. Really, I really like this. I'm really intrigued to get it on a phone. All of the images that I've seen, it looks better on phones than anywhere else right now, which makes sense. I think they just put the most effort in there.
It does.
But yeah, because you've used it on a phone, Stephen, right?
Like I have it on a phone, on an iPad, and a Mac, and it is good in that order.
Okay.
Tahoe is really, really weird in places.
Yeah, but I imagine that is the staging of importance for getting it right?
Yeah.
Because it's also, I feel like, much more effort on the iPhone to get this right than on the Mac. Because you're touching less of the Mac, would be my expectation. Because the Mac has a bunch of legacy UI, which isn't going to get changed as much, maybe? I don't know.
It's pretty thorough.
Okay.
It's just really ugly in places. Like toolbars, like the buttons stand out because they're liquid glass and they don't really need to be. Like one difference I think between the iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, obviously, is that on the Mac, liquid glass is sort of ever present in a way that on the iPhone and iPad it's less so. On the iPhone and iPad it's more reactive to what you're doing and your touch. The Mac doesn't have touch, and so it kind of shows up in more places, but in a way that's not really logical with the way that it works on the iPhone and iPad. I don't know. My first reaction, honestly, I think I texted it to y'all. My first reaction when I installed it on Monday was, this looks like a bad Linux skin from 2005. I've warmed up to it.
There are some vibes.
I've warmed up a little bit to it, but they need to tone it down on the Mac.
Like there, I've seen people posting like jailbroke versions of iPhones, that have like clear icons. Like, but it doesn't look like, it's like evocative of that time, but it is much more refined. I really like it, and I think that it's fresh and new and interesting. I think people are getting way too hung up about the parts that don't look good. Right, I'm just gonna say it. All right, yes, everyone's seen Control Center, everyone's seen Notification Center. They don't look so great. I think people can understand that objectively. They will adjust it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But I feel like there are a lot of people like, oh, well, it's just ruined. And I just, it's so strange. Opinions about design is so odd. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of people who think that they have the perfect hot take. There's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of grifting going on right now on any social media. Like anybody trying to be a design expert with their own critiques and whatever.
Yeah.
I think it looks fun. I think it looks good. It's beta 1. It'll be fine, I think.
I rewatched the iOS 7 part of WWDC in 2013, which was weirdly Mike and I's first WWDC in person. And I was struck by two things in rewatching that. One, I really wish Apple did these things live. Like, it's so cool to see the iOS 7 video and hear the reaction from the crowd. But it was clear that iOS 6 and iOS 7, like, it was a really big break, and iOS 6 was feeling pretty tired. That is, I don't think the case this time. I don't think the old design was all that tired. They're moving forward for, I think, other reasons. But boy, iOS 7, what they showed off and how it ended up are actually pretty different. If you go back and look at early versions of those betas, it was rough, and they listened to feedback. Now, I think what some people in the community kind of need to swallow a little bit is like, you have to do feedback the way Apple wants it. Like, you've got to do it in the feedback form, and then like also post it to your blog or social media, right? Like, I do both, and I reference in my blog post the feedback number, and in the feedback ticket, I put the blog URL. Like, do both. But it's one thing to complain, it's another thing to give actual feedback. It will change, but they need to hear from us and from people, what's actually going on.
And also, I think you need to do feedback in a way that is productive. If you just go on the internet and say, "I hate it," you're doing an awful job. This is the classic example of Tim Cook's Apple, whatever. Like, that doesn't say anything. Like, if you don't like something, be specific about it, and or don't. But surely just saying "I hate it," like, in the aggregate, I don't think it does much. When it comes to like really specific changes. And I think, again, having talked to people, I think that the more specific you can be, and the more sort of, especially for developers, right now with the beta period, the more you can offer specific criticism with examples, the better you have a shot at actually, causing changes right now. So, yeah.
I think as well, it's like, you might not like the way it looks. It doesn't mean it's bad.
Oh, yes, there is also that,
right?
Opinions. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I overall, my overall feeling is I think it's really interesting, and I'm enjoying digging into it. But again, it's like using it on an iPad. It isn't as dynamic and fluid as it is on the iPhone. And again, it's like, I don't know if that's just a difference in the platform, or it's that there's still more to come on that. So I look forward to maybe a month or two putting it on my iPhone, kind of giving it to kind of midway through the cycle, and then go deep on it. But yeah, I think in general, I think it's what I wanted from the design, which is they actually do a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like they have a thing that they want to do, and they do it across all the platforms, and like they have a point of view, and they are expressing that. And I think that's cool.
Okay. Federico, you're next.
I said Apple rebrands version numbers of its OSs. They did. Ding. Ding. Everything is 26 except for Tahoe, which is macOS 26, and also macOS Tahoe. It's got two names. But yeah, this was a good report by the real Mark Gurman before WWDC. They're going with the annual stuff, and it seems to me like the controversy is already over. Like, everybody's already gotten over it. It's, they're gonna call it with the name of the year, and also like it was getting confusing. You had iOS 19 and then macOS something else and visionOS 3. Like, everything was out of track. I just think it makes a lot more sense to go on, this is what we did this year, and it just makes a lot more sense, and I'm happy they did it.
Do you think they'll snap the iPhone numbers to the same grid?
I think they absolutely should. And I don't think just the iPhone numbers.
Yeah. Do it all.
They're any product that is. I mean, and maybe they can only do it with the iPhones actually, because not everything else gets yearly revs, right? And it might be weird.
The
that
Apple
you would go
Watch,
from,
maybe.
Yeah, the Apple Watch you could do, but like like the iPad, where you go like iPad Pro 24, then iPad Pro 27. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you could do that. Maybe that would be fine. But I think any product that gets a number, they should change it to this. I think that might be a better way to put it. Because the products that don't have numbers, they just don't do it.
Especially the phones, especially because the competition is doing it. So at this point, you have Samsung saying, here's the S26 Ultra and here's the iPhone 17. I know it's a stupid thing, but you got the smaller number. And
I think it just gets even more complicated when you're like, here's the iPhone 17 that runs iOS 26.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. My round one pick, the new version of macOS drops support for some Intel Macs. Ding.
It's more than that, though, right? Like,
yes.
There's actually some interesting news here.
There is. So they have announced that Tahoe will be the last release for Intel Macs. So good on Apple giving people a heads up. Those systems will receive security updates for 3 years, as is normal. Also, macOS 27 will be the last to support Rosetta. So if you still have Intel apps running on your Apple Silicon Mac, they're using Rosetta 2, that will go away in 3 years. And so that is also a deadline for developers and users to get ready for that. So yeah, I really, really like this forward communication. I think it's really good.
Let me get my head around that. Because I feel like I saw that news and it didn't really feel like something I cared about. And now I actually realize it's something I should care about. So me on my Apple Silicon Macs, if I'm using any apps that are in emulation, like Intel apps in emulation, they will stop working in 3 years?
Yeah, they'll stop working in macOS 28. So they will be supported in 26 and 27.
I saw that news and was like, this doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the case. It actually does. It does matter to me.
And I was looking through Activity Monitor earlier, just like in my normal workload, and I have about 8 Intel things running.
Oof.
A couple of them I don't really need running most of the time, but some of them I do. And so hopefully that gets resolved.
My problem here is the drivers for my Wacom tablet are all Intel.
Ooh,
now, maybe they have newer drivers and I've just never installed them. Or maybe I'll have to get a new tablet. But I'm sure that they will be working on that at Wacom if they haven't already, right? Like, I just never. Why would I bother to update the drivers? Like, I don't think about it. It just works. But I'm sure that they will, because Wacom is very popular on the Mac, right? And that's going to become a problem for them in a few years' time. So that's a problem for future Mike to deal with.
Yeah. So the end of round one, we're all tied up.
You love to see it.
Love to see it. Mike, start us out on round 2.
So my round 2 pick, I actually thought had a little bit of spice when I picked it, which was new features are announced that are powered by Apple Intelligence. Because I wondered if that would even be the case, right? Like that they might just pretend it never existed. But no, they started out by giving a little apology. Hey, we're so sorry. We love you. We're so sorry. And then there were a bunch of features throughout that had some Apple Intelligence flavor. Like one that jumps to mind is Workout Buddy, right? I think that's what it's called. The little fitness friend who's in your ears. They should have called it Fitness Friend. That's
I asked, this was my recurring joke in any briefing where Workout Buddy was mentioned. I was actually checking with multiple people from Apple because the buddy has multiple voices, right? As like 2 voices, I believe. I kept asking, is the name always Buddy? Like, does the buddy have proper names? And they said, no, it's always the name is Buddy. And so... yes, that I can tell you.
Okay. I think it should be Fitness Friend. But yeah, there are a bunch of Apple Intelligence stuff. Some are like tweaks to existing features, and there's some new stuff too. So yeah, I get this point.
Yep. Federico?
I just wanted to say that, and this is potentially my hot take for the day, I preferred the Apple Intelligence announcements this year compared to last year.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because last year's were a rush. right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what can we announce and do? Quick, let's get it out there. And this is like, if you actually spend time thinking about it, how can we make things that are Apple-like and important for us rather than like, how do we look like we're just meeting whatever is the state of the art, which we can't do.
And especially for things that I will discuss later in the Ricky round, there's something about what they did that has me really, really, thinking about stuff.
Live translation is one, but I'm going to give a complaint, right? There is no reason why the languages should be so limited anymore.
Yeah.
They should have more languages now if they're LLM powered. Like, there is zero reason why I should not be able to use this in Romanian, except for the fact that they haven't enabled it. But if this is powered by an intelligence model, it shouldn't be complicated to use more languages.
Yeah, the problem is that they don't have a giant model yet, because even their biggest model, the server one, is only 17 billion parameters.
But you have to download it anyway, right? So why could I not download like a separate model?
They don't have it trained. They don't have it in training. That's the problem.
But they should, though.
They should. Well, yes, that's a different conversation. They should.
They should.
Yes,
they should.
Yeah, they should have crawled more Romanian blogs,
They should have.
Too soon?
Did you see? Have you guys read in the machine learning blog that they have that this year they specifically wrote, "We continue to follow ethical practices for ethical web scraping."
What is that? What's ethical web scraping?
Respecting the robots.txt instruction on websites.
And who decided that was ethical web scraping? Who was it that made that distinction? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, hey, I'm just a messenger here. I'm just
also. I
you.
don't think you can call something ethical and scraping. I don't think that like.
Well, it's like a liquid glass, right? they
you
really
shouldn't touch it.
they like those contrasts this year. I guess.
Which is weird because it doesn't have a lot of contrast and. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Design jokes.
Wow. Okay. This is a good one. Good. Okay. Round two. I said the updated Vision OS gets an eye scrolling feature. Ding. This was easy to miss because it was mentioned very briefly in the State of the Union. And it looks like the UI element. There's like a little square in the corner, and you can look at it to scroll. Is that what it looks like?
I have not seen it or tried it.
I think that's what it is. I believe because I was taking notes and then I looked up and I caught it for like 2 seconds, and
it
then
was
somebody
on a slide, but that's it. Like that's all I've seen. I like that it's a thing that exists, but I don't know more about it yet.
Yeah, I believe the way that they did it is like there's a small, like almost like virtual touchpad, and you look at it to scroll the foreground window. I think that's what it does. I was concerned that I wouldn't be getting this point because it was not mentioned in the keynote, but it was in the State of the Union. So nice.
And then we've talked about my round 2 pick already, but iPadOS gets updated window management tools. Ding.
Big ding. Yes.
What? We talked about this on MPU yesterday, but what was the deal with Craig's sort of attitude talking about this? It was like, oh, you'll never guess, another window management. Like, was that weird?
Like, okay, so I felt this too. It was one of these things where, like, I know what you're going for, but it's not landing with me. Like, I know that you're trying to, like, be self-deprecating here, I think. But what it sounds like is you're making fun of me. And, like, I don't think that you're attempting to do that. Like, when I say me, I mean, like, us, right? Like, the commentariat, I would say, is probably is a word that I've just made up. Like, it's the people talking about the window management, right? It's like that's what it felt like he was making fun of, where I actually felt like it was intended to be like more like, hey, we're doing this again. Hey, because it obviously was not it was not successful last time, but it felt more like yeah, because it was like what they're trying to get across is like, yes, we're back a few years later, and we're trying to tell you that it is like we've reinvented. I think they're like being a bit tongue in cheek of like that thing that we all say about them, which is, oh, we are we've rethought the way that that's like the way that people talk about Apple, right? That like when Apple comes up with something, it's like they've invented it for the first time. So I think like he was trying to like get that kind of joke across, but it felt more like he was like, oh, they won't stop complaining, and then here we are.
Yeah, I think I think there was also maybe something to the idea. Maybe there was a better way to convey that idea of like that sometimes there's still value in an old idea, and there's no need to always reinvent the wheel for the sake of just doing it. And I mean, they're the ones who came up with many of these windowing metaphors and interactions decades ago. And so why not just keep using them if they're still good enough? And maybe there was a better way to say that. I don't know.
So I think a lot of the issue with Stage Manager can actually be summed up really well by what they covered in exhaustive detail in the keynote. I think Apple is nervous about upsetting the vast majority of iPad users.
Oh yes, that is a common theme in everything
but it makes
they
sense.
said.
Like I would expect maybe 10% of iPad users, maybe less, would ever want to use more than one window at once, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like most people are, and I am one of those people, have been one of those people. I use like one app at a time on my iPad. Now, because I've just not been happy with the way that it's worked. I could see myself being a little bit different now because I do like the way that this works. But I think the vast majority of iPad users, they don't want to step on their toes. And I think that's why they're like, well, if we're trying to convince them to have multiple windows, we can't hide the windows behind each other because they're not used to that on the iPad. Like I think that is where a lot of this comes from. And I think they've finally gotten to the point where they're like, all right, we can't get it to work in a way that makes anyone happy. So let's just try and make the pro users happy. And we'll do it in a way where it's really easy to get out of this if you get into it accidentally, even to the point where you can only enable this either in the setup process or in settings. It's not in Control Center anymore. And you have to go in and it tells you what you're going to do and it's very clear about it. And even when you have enabled it, most of the time you tap on an app and it will open it full screen until you make a choice of making it smaller again. So I think that's where a lot of this comes from with them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So the end of round 2, we are tied, all with 2 points.
You love to see it.
Okay.
Bonus round.
Woo! We got it wrong. I said at least one Vision OS app in compatibility mode becomes a native one. No, we checked. There's no new native apps that were previously in compatibility mode. There's the widgets app, but that's not an old one. That's a brand new one.
What's interesting about the widget thing, I'm somewhat of a widget expert now. I don't know if y'all know this. Compatibility apps can donate widgets to like the new widget system. And so you see like in a bunch of their screenshots, like the calendar widget. Well, calendar, I think is still an iPad compatibility app. But third parties can just throw their iPad app onto Vision OS and get all the new widget stuff. So it is interesting.
It already works. Like compatibility apps that haven't updated for Vision Pro, the widgets are just in there. Like I updated my Vision Pro today and I opened the widgets app and the timery one was there. Like it was just there. And it works. And the widgets are so cool. And even in this is a thing that I thought was cool. So with widgets, you can kind of like attach them to surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that with apps now too. I don't know if that came across in the keynote. So you can, if you drag an app and you put it near a wall, it will flatten to the wall and you can stick it there. And there's like another control to like lock it and unlock it. It's pretty cool.
My bonus round pick, the Google Gemini logo is shown on screen as part of a partnership announcement. No, not only wasn't shown, Apple didn't announce any additional partnerships. They've expanded the ChatGPT and OpenAI integration, but no Anthropic, no Google, nothing.
The only other thing you can do is in Swift Assist, you can load any model you want. Into that is the thing that they're saying. This was quite a surprise. I think that they didn't announce any other partnership, especially the Google one, which both Apple and Google have said they want to do.
Yeah,
but
they're basically flirting.
I know.
Yeah.
In court. They're both doing it in court as well, which is great. Look at you two really using the bonus round to full effect.
Wow.
Yeah, I still think the Gemini stuff is coming this summer. I could see it as a sort of thing that comes in July or like in a beta 4, beta 5. When I still think they're gonna do it.
There is a scenario where Apple just doesn't want to give them the juice, right? And like putting them in the keynote or something that they just like show up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or they went hat in hand to OpenAI and were like, please help us fix Image Playground. And they said, sure, but you can't bring Gemini in.
But no Google.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by OpenCase. Are you tired of your MagSafe accessories slipping around or shearing off? It's a common complaint, especially when moving in and out of pockets. OpenCase is an iPhone case with a literal open space on the back to hold MagSafe accessories more securely in place, while creating a thinner profile and a lighter weight than traditional cases. This unique cutout on OpenCase allows MagSafe accessories to adhere directly to the back of your phone, holding your accessory in place with a lip that the cutout naturally creates, which means no more catching your phone wallet on jean pockets, bags, or jackets. Wireless batteries, Apple wallets, and other accessories will adhere straight to the phone through the open space with OpenCase. I'm an iPhone wallet person. I've got one on the back of my iPhone case right now. And without OpenCase, it does slip around and move. And that makes me a little concerned, considering it's my wallet. Apple recommends in its wireless charging support documentation that users should not place anything between the phone and charger. The reason you don't want to do this is because it can reduce performance. And with OpenCase, you can optimize MagSafe charging with nothing in the way. In addition to the patented phone case, OpenCase have a suite of products that work specifically with their design or with any iPhone with MagSafe. And it's not just OpenCase products that work with the case. As long as the accessory shares the same footprint or smaller as the open space, it should fit. So you don't need to worry about your case being compatible with only one brand of accessories. Go to theopencase.com and use the promo code CONNECTED for 10% off. That's 10% off with the promo code CONNECTED at theopencase.com. Our thanks to OpenCase for their support of the show and all of Relay.
Risky pick round. My pick was Apple has a new app for gamers.
For gamers!
Rise up. It's called Apple Games. Ding! It creates new specific developer terms for games, and it features a partnership with Microsoft for Xbox Game Pass. I thought this would actually be something of consequence. Apple Games, I don't even know what it is, if I'm being honest. I don't know why it exists. I don't know why an app that has Apple Arcade in it and is a launcher for your games is like a thing that makes sense. Sure, it's got your leaderboards in there too. I just don't think this is compelling. I'm not really sure why they did this, if I'm being completely honest. It feels like there should be another component to this that doesn't exist. To me, I don't get it. I don't really get what's going on here. That the expectation is I open the Apple Games app and see that my friend beat me in a score in a game that I wasn't planning to play right now. I'm not really sure that I understand the expected customer use case of this application.
Well, me neither. I have no idea what we're looking at. It's like what Fancy Game Center. What it is.
What it reminds me of, Federico, is the Backbone app, right?
Yes, we talked about this, right?
Yeah,
we said,
but that makes sense because you connect your controller and then it opens the Backbone app. That makes sense. And I know they said you can control this app with a controller, but that's not. But I still have to open the app first. I have to go and open an app. Why don't I just open the app for the game I want to play? You know, it feels like there is something a little bit lost in this to me. But maybe I'm just not an iPhone gamer enough.
You're not one of the 500 million people.
Yeah. Like someone wrote in and they were like, yeah, finally, I don't have to have games on my home screen. It's like, you don't have to have games on your home screen now. They're in the app library in a folder called games. Like, they're already there. And you know what? Like, Apple games will be in the games folder in app library. So you have to go there and you have to open the folder, then choose Apple games, then choose the game that you want, right?
You do games, then you launch your game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Good dog. Like I heard you like opening apps.
Like, it would make sense to me if you connect a Bluetooth controller and then it automatically opens.
Well, Mike, you could put together an automation.
You know what? I can fix these things myself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So after your risky pick, you have 0 points because you got one condition correct.
Yep.
And
so
I'll take it.
Yep. So it's plus 0 points. You're still at 2.
You're still at
or
2.
minus 0 points.
Or that, you know what? That's true.
That is how the number 0 works.
All divided by 0 points.
Okay, so I said Apple opens up AFM, Apple Foundation Model, to developers. Condition number 1. It's a 3 billion parameter version only that runs on device. And Ding. There's
I had to read some stuff I did not understand to check this for you. And that's on Apple. Apple published something on the machine learning research page, and they said it is an approximately 3 billion parameter model.
Yes.
Bravo.
Good job on the number. That's the most impressive part of the sub pick, is that the number is spot on. I mean,
why that number?
He dreamed
it.
I do no. That doesn't work well, it seems, Steven, for picks. I do a lot.
Sick burn.
I do a lot of research about this stuff. I do a lot of reading, and I got really into local models that can run on phones. And I know that the 3 to 4 billion parameter size is the ideal one for an iPhone these days. There's a Quen model that is 3 billion. There's I picked 3 billion because Google has a 4 billion one, Gemma 4B, but it's based on a brand new, really advanced architecture. And I figured Apple is not going to have that. So I'm going to go with a small one, 3 billion, in line with their previous one. Not bigger, not smaller, just a retrained version of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, number 2, this is what I got wrong. It's designed in a way that only specific endpoints can be used with a native API, like summarization or writing or prioritizing content. No, you can actually prompt the thing. If you're a developer, you can just prompt whatever you want. Again, I thought they were going to follow a system where you only access specific features of the model, but no, they just straight up showed how you can prompt in plain text Apple Intelligence on device to get a response back.
This is the thing that I am most interested in seeing developer reactions over the next few weeks, because this feels to me like a really big deal, right? That developers will be able to have what is essentially, they could do whatever they want in the model. It feels like a big deal. Like that developers will be able to implement lots of really interesting things in their applications because they have this power, right? Am I too excited about this? Like, what do you? Are you excited about this, Federico? Do you think this is good?
I am very excited in the sense that it may not look like it, but I really do think that Apple has been doing good work with their research lately. There's a bit of controversy in the AI space. Apple published a paper right before WWDC, basically saying that reasoning models are BS. in the sense that the model is not really thinking. They think it's just basically running in circles around the problem. I'm simplifying. And that was like some people in the AI scene are like really upset that Apple published that paper. But I think Apple is doing interesting research. And I think letting developers have a private this is why, by the way, I in case we're gonna get the comments from people, Apple opened up 2 models, but the one for developers is only the on-device stuff. Developers cannot prompt the private cloud compute.
Right.
You only have access to the Apple Foundation Models framework, which is the small version on device. And I think just part of me was concerned, like, and is still concerned, like, what happens when you prompt and you get some data that is not what you expect. At the same time, it seems to me, having played around with this stuff now this week, that whatever safeguards and system prompts and instructions Apple put in place, they seem to be really strong in guiding the model toward not giving you random output in response.
Yeah. But if it does, they'll fix it. Like a thing that I learned that I didn't know is that Apple has been updating their models the entire time and they're doing it over the air. So that was a thing that I'd never seen before. We had some good feedback on Upgrade about that like the models are being updated without operating system updates required. That they're updating Apple's models, even the on-device models, are doing it over the air. So if things start going awry, they'll fix it and push out an update. You know, I feel confident in that, and I think that that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. And the third condition... Oh, no, I see something in the document.
I have a business idea for y'all.
Okay.
Oh, great.
None of us are too busy for something else, I guess.
No, I need a new one. Give it. What
Look,
you got?
developers are going to have to contend with this, on-device prompting. What if the 3 of us had a consulting thing to help them with that, right? So developers come to us like, hey, we want to do this with the on-device model. We're not sure how to do it. Maybe we took their questions and we responded to them like on a podcast, and we called it, what could we call it?
I don't know.
Maybe
Insertion.
and wow,
is that good?
Let's
Is
see.
that good?
Relay.fm/prompt. Some guys
it.
already used that name, but we could bring it back.
It's so funny. Why did we call it that? And now, like, it's perfect. It would be the perfect time, right? It would be the perfect time. We should do a spinoff.
It would be the perfect AI podcast. Just call it the prompt.
Yep. Yeah. I'm actually quite happy that we did take it, right? It is ours already. No one can take it away from us.
We've told this story before, but in coming up with a name for this, one of the suggestions was 6 colors, which is very funny.
Was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a screenshot somewhere in my photo library of us talking, I think in GroupMe about it.
Yeah, it's in GroupMe.
No, Facebook Messenger,
yeah.
Oh.
And Federico had put a bunch of names together, and that was on the list.
You're welcome, Jason. Yes.
You're welcome. All right. Put the final nail in our coffin. What's your third pick?
The third condition was Apple shows off examples of how they're using the same tech in its own system apps.
Ding.
How?
And I have to thank my good old friend Shortcuts for having a brand new action, which is no joke. After iPadOS, this is the thing I'm most excited about from this week: the use model action.
I can't believe this exists.
Yes, me neither. So the use model action lets you prompt the on-device model. So the Apple Foundation Model Framework. It lets you prompt private cloud compute, and it lets you prompt ChatGPT. But it's not just that. Well, first of all, obviously, big surprise, you're letting users prompt either of your models. So the on-device one and the private cloud compute one. But the most fascinating thing, so I mean, obviously, so that's a point, right? Because it's showing off the foundational models framework in a system app. The real fascinating part here which I'm dying to know more, and I hope that I get to talk to somebody or interview somebody about this because I need to understand what they have done. The use model action understands shortcuts variables and can be configured visually with a menu to return specific types of variables in shortcuts.
Yep.
So you can, and this works, this kind of stuff, this variable understanding and output understanding works with any model you want to use. So you can use it with the small on-device one. If you're running into context window limits, it also works with ChatGPT, which is double the context window of.
Do you get to choose what ChatGPT model you query, or
not yet, which is
give you?
It's gonna be one of my feedback items. Like at this point, let me choose.
If I have an account, you should surface the models that I have access to. Yeah,
I should be able. But this action is the reason why I think a lot of shortcuts users who want to use AI features in their sort of hybrid automation setups will start using this action instead of third-party actions. Because this model can understand variables, can understand things like multiple notes that you're getting using shortcuts from the Apple Notes app, and it can give you those notes back as a result, as a native variable in shortcuts. It can give you dictionaries, it can give you lists, it can give you Boolean values. I have to understand what Apple has done here to basically have this action. This is like the perfect example of the thing that I've been calling hybrid automation, and this is Apple getting into this sort of new space in a big way, saying you can prompt, but you're getting native shortcuts variables in return.
If you want to see this for yourself, there are examples. There are new examples in the kind of gallery of shortcuts. Have you seen this, Federico?
Yes.
And hilariously, they have made a morning routine one, which is just like
of course
every shortcut ever.
Yeah.
But you can see what they're doing, and they're querying like what's on your reminders, what's on your calendar. But then you see what goes into the model. And what goes into the model is a bunch of magic variables, right? The same as what you're doing in shortcuts. So like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't know what it's doing, right? Because it's like, it's collecting that information from somewhere and sending it somewhere. It's really weird, but cool.
But they're also coming back. The thing is that those variables are also coming back. And I just want to understand from a technical perspective how they're encoding all the, like, are they sending JSON or plain text? Like, what are they doing to send?
Yeah.
Are they sending custom XML from shortcuts? Shortcuts under the hood is all basically fancy XML. If you've ever taken a look at how shortcuts are made behind the scenes, it's a plist file with a bunch of XML inside. Are they sending the XML?
Does the model understand app intents? Like, and is it doing something with those? Like, it's all. I think it's fascinating, and I tried tinkering of one and it broke badly. But this time, this time we can, But it's really it is a very interesting, and I love that you have the ability to do it all on device if you want to. Which I just like. There was a really great example on the newsroom of a developer using this day one, where they said we could never send our customers' information to a model.
Yeah.
But we can use the on-device models to create journal prompts based on things you've written.
Yeah,
it's like, that is so smart. Because they can't send your stuff off device, right? They can't. Because it's your private journal. But if they're able to use the on-device models, then they're able... I think it's really cool. I think this is very cool, and I'm excited to see what people do with it.
On episode 801 of MPU, we talked a good bit about what you can do with that, and also like the local stuff, private cloud compute. David had done a bunch of experiments already, so there's a chapter.
I just started the episode this morning. I haven't gotten that far. I actually went to give you some follow-up, if you don't mind.
Sure.
On that episode real quick. So you were talking about the Safari design, right? So the fact that multiple years ago we had a button bar in Safari and it was super minimal and it was a terrible idea, and now it's back again, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying that like the time that Apple have had to go away and think about it of liquid glass has meant that we're more willing to accept it now. I agree with what you're saying, but the thing I wanted to add is, in the meantime, they have slowly moved us towards it. The problem with iOS 15 is we went from Safari having 2 toolbars to 1 toolbar.
Yeah.
And it was too much. But then over time, we've gotten to the bottom single toolbar thing, and now they've just made it more and more small, right? And so I just think that over time they've conditioned us to accept the change rather than trying to do it all in one, which was the problem with the 15.
Yeah,
problem.
And there's settings in iOS to control how it works and looks. You can bring the old one back, basically.
Yep.
So, Steven.
Yep. Well, you picked up a point, so congratulations.
Thank you.
The system works.
Apple announces an updated Mac Pro. All 3 conditions wrong, minus 1 point.
Is there any point? There's no point.
There's no point.
No.
That's pretty bad. So at the end of the risky picks, Mike, the defending champion, has 2. I remain the loser with 1. Federico has consolidated power.
Yes.
With 3 points. We have a Ricky Benchman.
We have a Benchman. Congratulations, Benchman. Everyone that hates the intros, it just got simpler for a while.
Yeah,
it's true.
I am your Ricky Benchman.
Congratulations, Federico. You are the Benchman.
Thank you. I am.
And for people saying, what does that mean? Ooh. Well, 2 chairs is a bench. So that's why he is the Benchman.
Yes.
That's right. Congratulations,
Thank
buddy.
you. Thank you all. Thank you to the Academy. Yes.
I'll look forward to changing my trophy.
Yes.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Ecamm. Ecamm Live is the leading video production and live streaming studio built for the Mac. Ecamm is great at simplifying your workflow because you can do it all with the Ecamm app. Get started quickly and have everything on hand to create whatever you need with video. It's great for streaming, recording, podcasting, and presenting. With the Ecamm, you can stand out from the crowd with screen sharing, using multiple cameras, and even direct the show in real time with their live camera switcher. And my favorite thing about Ecamm is all this stuff works great together. So you can add logos, titles, lower thirds, and graphics with things that you build in Ecamm or elsewhere on the Mac. You can drop in video clips, bring on an interview guest, use a green screen, and so much more. Their members are people who use the Mac to get things done, like entrepreneurs, marketing professionals, podcasters, educators, musicians, church leaders, bloggers, and content creators of all kinds. And pro-level plan members can have access to Ecamm for Zoom. Automatically send Ecamm Live's audio and video output into Zoom, whether it be a meeting, webinar, or event, and add up to 8 Zoom participants as camera sources in your broadcast or recording. Plus, you can automatically create individual participant audio and video recordings and add Zoom chat messages to your broadcast or recording as text overlays. To get 1 month free today, go to ecamm.com/connected and use the offer code CONNECTED. That's 1 month free of Ecamm Live at Ecamm, E-C-A-M-M, ecamm.com/connected. Go there now and check it out. Our thanks to Ecamm for the support of the show. The Flexies is a game held after each edition of the Rickies. It consists of a series of additional picks in relation to the upcoming Apple event or year. Scoring is completed separately from the main game, but like the Rickies, the order of picks is set by the results of the previous game, and ties will be broken by dice by Peacock. Please lie down as the rules are read. Host must make a minimum of 5 Flexi picks. Each correct pick is awarded with 1 point. Wrong picks do not remove any points, and no partial points will be awarded. The winner is determined by comparing the percentage of correct Flexis made by each host. The winner can use their chosen title as long as they are the winner. Since we're playing the keynote games, Federico could be the Prince Flexi, or if he has both titles, he would be King Flexi. Mike has chosen Duke of Flexington and uses the name Archduke Flexington when applicable. I'm the Attorney General Flexi, and if I have both, then Secretary of Deflex. Loser of the Flexies must compensate the winner of the Flexies by donating to a charity of the winner's choice. The amount of the donation is $25 per wrong Flexi made by the loser. The money must be donated on air. I'm the current winner of the Keynote Flexi, so I could keep or lose my title today. And Mike is the winner of the annual Flexis. If someone holds all 4 titles that we award, they are allowed to choose their own nickname. It's a lot of power. You may be seated. All right, I get to go first. This is going to go well for me after my stunning defeat in the regular game.
Well, we'll see. We haven't scored you yet.
At least one new OS is referred to by its old marketing name in developer documentation or tools. Ding, I have 2 examples. Okay. One, when you build an app and the logs that stream off the iPhone, the target iPhone, listed as iOS 19, not iOS 26.
That. Yeah.
And someone sent me in, and my mentions are ruined right now, so I tried to find it this morning. I can't find it again. But there is some documentation that has, I think it was iPadOS 19 in it. So not quite fully up to date everywhere. There is no macOS developer beta by the time of recording. Got that wrong. Image Playgrounds is updated to be not quite as terrible.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah, so I tried playing around with this a little bit. It's so slow right now. Like, querying ChatGPT is so slow. But maybe that's just where they are right now. But yeah, you can make actual ChatGPT images. It's constrained. You have styles still. The first one that I went to today of an anime style, and it did not initially create a Studio Ghibli style image. It just created a more kind of general anime image, which is still aping from someone, but it's less immediately noticeable.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next for me, we have at least one Apple Intelligence feature is announced for watchOS.
You're barely getting this.
I know. It's like a half ding, but we don't award half points.
Because Workout Buddy requires an iPhone, but it is an Apple Intelligence feature for watchOS. So.
Yep. Vision OS gets a dark mode.
Why would we do that?
In fact,
the eyes out.
In fact, I was reading some design documentation yesterday, and it says Vision OS does not have a dark mode, but it's like, okay, that one's in red.
What's the point in saying that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. iOS gets new home screen customization options.
Yes.
You got light tinting, which looks so much better than the dark tinting.
But just tinting in general looks better.
It does.
Like, it just looks much better now.
And then clear. You got clear icons, which
I kind of like the clear ones.
I know you do. Yeah. Not surprised.
There's going to be so many TikToks of, are you too distracted with your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a simple new hack to be less distracted.
Yep.
You're going to be full of that.
Yep. Number 7, Automator remains. Ding. They did take away his arms and legs in the pipe. But
look how they massacred my boy.
He got cut down, but he's still.
Steven, this isn't the biggest travesty, right? You haven't mentioned it, so you got to mention it.
All
here.
right,
What's going on with
the biggest tragedy in this redesign, and the most popular thing I've written all year by a landslide, is that the Finder icon has been reversed. It forever. I went back to System 7.5.3, boys. And the darker color has always been on the left with the lighter color on the right. Those colors have changed. The size has been tweaked. The shape has been tweaked. But this abomination will not stand where the Finder icon is white and the face on the right side is blue. And you know what? I'm not one to call for people to lose their jobs.
Wow.
But whoever okayed this, you done goofed. You done goofed. This cannot stand. This has to be reversed, or we riot.
I kind of like it. I mean, it makes sense to the current design language, right? That the color glass is laid on top of the clear glass.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's right.
I like it. It's fine. Also, it's to me like for me, this is totally fine. Like I don't know why people are so upset, but I know people don't like change, right? And
Wow.
this article that you wrote, Stephen, was just so funny to me. Like I love it so much, and I love how prepared you are. You know that you have all of the images. You just got them. They're just ready to go.
Yeah,
At a moment's
I only
notice.
had to make 2 new images for this.
You can't be stopped. And as I said to you, I said it to your message, I said it to you here, this is what you're made for. You know what I mean? Like, this is you. This is what you're here for. This is what we need you for. This is your whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're taking this right to the top. And I really wonder if you will be able to affect change. Yeah.
I hope so. As many people have read this, I'm sure people inside Apple have.
FB 178400162.
That's right. Number 8, Alan Dye is in the presentation to talk about the redesign. Ding.
Yes.
And then he killed
He's
Finder.
Quite prominent. Yep.
So that is 6 out of 8 for, honestly, I'm very proud of this, a 75% correct ratio.
That's got to be up there with one of the better.
I'm pretty happy with
scores.
that. I really am very pleased with how my flexies went. Federico, how did you do?
Let's see. So I'm not sure about this first one because I see that it's marked in green in the document. So I said, Apple teases bigger versions of AFM on the horizon.
Yeah,
Have they?
Didn't you have something on social media about this?
Well, they have the private cloud compute one that is a 17 billion model, but it's not a teaser. It's out there.
Okay.
Like against my interest, this is not correct.
Yeah, if Federico's not giving himself the point,
no,
we should say it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 2, I said Apple hints that a new glass-like material for its UI design is true to the nature of the hardware itself. I don't remember the exact sentence, but they did say something along these lines. Our devices are made of glass, something like that.
Yeah.
And
the quote that I pulled to give you this point, in my mind at least, was Alan Dye said the edges of the controls that used to be made for square displays have been perfectly rounded to meet the rounded corners of the hardware. A couple things about that. One, not all devices that can run this have rounded screens. The iPhone SE2 somehow survived. Like it's got a home button for crying out loud, and obviously a bunch of the Macs don't. But yeah, I think you totally get this. What was more interesting to me though was as they were leading into this, there's lots of these sweeping shots of Apple Park. Like, Apple Park and Liquid Glass, kind of two sides of a coin, a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I said split screen multitasking comes to the iPhone 2. No. Number 4, Swift Assist mentioned and promised again. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
In the keynote. I thought this was in the State of the Union. But
you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use whatever model you want. Number 5, we talked about this a few minutes ago. The ChatGPT integration with Siri now has access to reasoning models. No, you still cannot choose the model you want to run, even if you log in. Number 6, a disclaimer is added to some features in the video saying whether it's real footage or simulated. No, they just showed off real stuff that is shipping now.
And some of it was like you could tell, right? Like the translation on the phone thing was like, oh, we're sitting and waiting. We're all waiting for this. You're keeping us all waiting.
Number 7, Shortcuts gets new Apple Intelligence actions. Yes, it got a bunch. Use model, writing tools, image playgrounds. And number 8, Apple announces a third-party assistant API for some markets. No. So I didn't do so well. I got 3 out of 8.
Yeah, that's a small number. That's 37.5%.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, I'm up. Vision OS gets support for VR game controllers.
Ding.
And Apple and Sony partner over VR controllers.
Ding.
Ding.
So I'm very, very focused on the VR controllers. I'm excited about
that was in hindsight. That's a quarter of your flexies over one little feature. Not a little feature. It's a big deal.
It's like all of what I got right. So you know what I mean? Like it's fine. I saw, I think, friend of the show, Alex Cox, say about this. I think it was Alex. They made a good point, which is like, okay, great, but no one is going to make games for this to support these unless it's in the box. Like,
yeah.
And I agree with that. It's like, I'm very happy that these are here, but this doesn't mean that more games are going to arrive because you still need to pay however much Sony want for the controllers. So, but I'm happy that they're here, and I'm intrigued to see what kind of support they get throughout the system. Apple introduces the new OS design of an animated video showing the old look morphing into the new look. They did not do this. They showed real glass instead. Animated Genmoji, no, but we got Mixmoji, and you can have more adaptation for Genmoji, change their appearance a little bit and their facial expressions. Image Playgrounds can make terrible videos. Thankfully, that's not the case. I haven't tried it, actually, but I don't think Apple's part of Image Playgrounds changed at all, which is embarrassing. Apple partners with Anthropic for Xcode. They did not do that. People start claiming online they have found evidence of a folding phone.
So I looked this morning trying to search like WWDC folding phone, and like search results were not very helpful. I didn't find like an article written by somebody like this proves it. But I did want to I just wanted to be honest with you that I did this in Slack with underscore. Okay. Because in Vision OS, the XL widget size can be vertical now. And I was like, that would make sense on a folding phone. So
can we all agree that Steven is people and Slack is online?
I'm willing to give it to you.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll take that. And finally, during the opening, Tim Cook uses the words love and developers in the same sentence.
Nope. He won't say it.
He loves TV Plus. He loves TV Plus.
He loves TV Plus.
Yep.
Mike, that is 3 out of 8.
Yep.
Which is 37.5%, which means the two of you have to
tied.
Flip.
Oh boy.
All right, let me do the thing.
I'm gonna lose.
Do you want to pick heads or tails?
Yes, I'll pick. I'm gonna get it wrong anyway. Tails.
You always say that, and then you get it right. You pick tails. Okay.
Yeah.
I love how you always set it up like, I'm going to get it wrong. All right, so that means I lose?
Yes.
Yes.
And I win.
How much money and where does it go?
Well, Steven won. So Steven is, what's your title now? Won?
The Attorney General Flexi.
Yes, okay.
Or whatever it is. I'm trying to look it up.
I don't think that's right at all.
Attorney General Flexi. That is right.
Okay. Well, then, AG Flex, where do you want the money to go?
So it is $25 per wrong Flexi. You got 5 wrong. So that's $125.
Nice.
Which is pretty rough. That's pretty bad. Let's donate to the Trevor Project.
Okay. How much am I giving? $125?
Yes.
All right. Yes. I'll work on that.
125.
Thank you very much. So at the end of the game today, we have a new keynote chairman.
Hello.
Federico, congratulations again.
Thank you. We have a new benchman.
We have a new benchman.
The man of the bench.
I lost the Rickies pretty badly.
And I lost my keynote chairmanship.
You lost
That's
your keynote
the biggest
chairmanship.
loss. And I lost money.
And you lost money, but you gave it to a good cause. The Flexies, I have won, and then Mike lost by a coin flip. So that's
It's been a bad day for me, actually. I lost it all, didn't I? I lost everything. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, thank you for joining us for the Rickies. This is always a fun time of year. Whether you win or lose, it's a good time. Right?
Yes.
Sure.
I feel pretty good. I mean, I lost, but I had a good time.
It's a good WWDC, right? Can we all agree on that? It's a good time.
Yes.
Yeah. I think pretty good. You can find more of us online. Federico is the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Your team is killing it with the coverage. We have a bunch of links.
Yes, they are.
Bunch of links to Mac Stories articles in the show notes this week. Mike hosts many other shows here on Relay. Upgrade was out right after the keynote. It's a great episode of Upgrade. You can check out his work at Cortex Brand. I had a picture from somebody at WBC at the keynote taking notes in one of your notebooks. So it's pretty cool.
You'd love to see it. Thank you to that person.
I co-host Mac Power Users here on Relay. Episode 801 came out yesterday talking about WBC. And I write over at 512pixels.net. Hashtag save the finder. Let's go.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, save the finder.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag. We got a hashtag.
If you want to leave feedback or follow-up, you can do so at connectedfeedback.com. There's a link in the show notes. And if you want to get Connected Pro, which is the longer ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week, there's also a link to that in the show notes, or you can go to getconnectedpro.co. That support goes to us directly, and we appreciate it. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Fitbod, OpenCase, and Ecamm. And until next week, y'all, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.